Everyone, if it's your first time tuning in, this is a place where you can hear raw, real, relevant conversation. Our belief is that communication is one of the vital keys to any relationship. So I hope that you hear something today that will inspire you to be the best communicator that you can be. I'm excited for today's show because I've had special guests on before, but this is the first interview. So without further ado, we have Mr. Artis Anderson in the building. How you doing, sir?
Going on? Man, I'm always good. I'm honored to be the first live guest, Feels good.
This
Feels good to
this
be
is gonna
here.
be good. Yes, we are here talking about a very, very important topic. One of those topics that can make or break you. I've often heard people say, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So if that's true, then I believe a man who finds a wife that's not the woman that he should have chosen can have the opposite effect. Can be a bad thing. So today, your book drops, The Blueprint for Finding a Wife.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
Man, feeling great, man. Feeling great. It's been a long day coming for this book release. And I definitely believe it's going to benefit a lot of people. I know I've been promoting it for a while now, so I know that the book title has thrown a lot of people off, mainly women. Um, but I think if people read it, I think they would have a different view on it. Just not to be cliche, but no pun intended. But don't judge a book by its cover.
For sure, for sure. How long did it, how long was the process?
So the truth is, the process only took a few months. The book actually came out of so I run a singles group, um, and that singles group is geared towards helping young men and women prepare for marriage, even during their single phase, right? And so one day, some of the guys began to ask a lot of questions because that particular day was all men, and they were asking a lot of questions. And I record my stuff so that if I say anything important or anything that could help people, I can turn it into content or turn it into ebooks, things like that, digital downloads. So, but this particular day, I just felt like all the questions were very relevant to men who are looking to be married. And so, what ended up happening was, after we got off that call, I began to kind of brainstorm on this idea of writing a book to help men identify a wife. And originally the book was called How to Find a Wife. And so over time, the title kind of, transitioned into The Blueprint, because the way I wrote the book isn't a simple read through. It's not like a simple read through book, right? It's more so of a outline and a guide, along with instructions and details and concepts and nuances. And so that's kind of how the book came about. And it took me a few months once I got the layout, the structure of how I want the book to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds exciting already. Um, what was the inspiration behind writing the book? I know you said it kind of came up in a singles group, but was there something that moved you beyond that, you just kind of felt passionate about
Well, so years ago, I started helping people with their relationships just because I was good at relationships. I always had a interesting understanding of dynamics between people. And so maybe around like 2010, 2011, I began to help more people with their relationships. And fast forward to 2019, my wife was like, you need to start charging people. And I was like, well, no. Well, sorry, that was around like 2017. And then 2019, my wife was saying it again, and I was like, all right, let me just listen to my wife. So I started the company. It's called Forever Love, and where we do relationship counseling and coaching for singles, couples, and married couples, or people who are married. And from there, it just kind of took off. And so from there, we also developed the school, which is the Relationship and Marriage University, where the vision is to one day hold a brick and mortar in multiple cities where people can come, just like they go to college, and they can take courses on relationship education. Because I don't believe people should wait until they're in a relationship or wait till they're older to learn these skills. I think our youth needs to learn it now. All of that encompassed, it kind of led me into this place where the book came out of the idea of my company and my nonprofit, Forever Love Relationship Marriage University. And I felt like for men in particularly, I felt like men did not really have the information, at least in one location. They might go on YouTube and look up this YouTuber or this content or this Instagram. So I tried to put all of the information they needed into one book, one manual, one transcript, so that they can just have everything at their disposal throughout their journey of um, um, looking for a wife or preparing for marriage. So that was kind of like the inspiration. Just seeing that men, throughout my process of working with couples, throughout the process of working with single men, throughout the process of teaching classes and things of that nature, I saw that men needed information that was really beneficial to them on how to really pay attention to a lot of things that they aren't necessarily taught. Because typically men are only taught, when you find a woman, take good care of her, make her happy. And then and then you get blindsided by a lot of things you don't understand.
That's super important because I'm just thinking in my own life, there was not a resource like this around.
Yeah.
If there was, I didn't hear about it. And that's why as soon as I heard about your book, I was like, okay, I have to get this information out and make it, you know, accessible to people. I know at least two people that I want to get the book for. Like
Yeah,
ordering it as soon as we get off this interview, I'm ordering it.
I had a few people text me, women actually. They bought the book and I'm sure they're gonna give it to some guy.
See,
Because I
see,
know, see, this is the thing about the book, right? It's for men, but if women read it, it's going to change their life too. Because once you realize what men want, what men need, it'll give you more of an advantage over other women, to be honest. Because the average woman doesn't care about men. So if you want to be married and you want to have a genuine heart towards your future husband, reading this book is going to position you much further than the average woman because you're going to already know what to do. That's just a little advantage for them if they want to read it. But you know,
now, I already heard something that I'm sure other people heard. The average woman doesn't care about men. Can you elaborate just a little bit on that?
yeah, the average woman is only trained culturally and socially to care about herself. And obviously, to all the people who hear the first second of a sentence and disagree, just take a moment and just understand what I'm saying before you disagree. Okay, because people love to disagree even if they don't have a point to disagree, right?
For sure.
If we just take a aerial view and say, all right, just look at the landscape just from a general standpoint, right? Why do men, for example, go to work? Why do men work so hard to be successful? Typically, it's because they have a desire to take care of their wife and children. Well, the question is, as a married man, that is. Obviously, if you're single, you're just doing what you want to do with your life. But if you're a married man is working hard to provide for his family, the question is, why do women work so hard? It's not because she wants to take care of her husband. Maybe it's because she wants to take care of her kids, but she also expects the man to take care of her and the kids, right? So, and it's not a bad thing, it's just nature. But the dynamics let you know that men are centered on taking care of someone externally. Women typically think first about taking care of themselves. So now let me backtrack to childhood. Growing up, if we're being honest, just again, this is a general overview, right? If we look at it just from a general overview, right? There's always been an expectation for men to look out for women. There's never been an expectation for women to look out for men, just on a general scale. So if something happens in public, women expect men to protect them and take care of them, etc. If something happens in the world, men should come to the rescue. If you go on a date, men should provide the finances for the first date. If a man takes you as his woman, and y'all get married, he should be the one. Like, there's always been an expectation for the man to be more concerned about the woman than himself. So when I say women don't really care about men, I'm just simply saying they're not wired, generally speaking. There's always exceptions to the rule. There's always
Right.
nothing is absolute except God and his word. But so women, the average woman is not wired to care about the feelings and the emotions and the concerns and the weight and the struggle and the pressures that men carry. But men are always told, hey, be sensitive with her. She's going through a period. Hey, be sensitive with her, postpartum depression. Hey, be sensitive with her because of her emotions. Hey, be sensitive. Like, men have always had some dynamic of, hey, be careful, care about her, pay attention to this, think about this. And so if we're being honest, intellectually honest, because we love to just disagree. This is what
Right.
we disagree. Women, men and women both just love to disagree. But if we're being intellectually honest, when I make the statement, women generally don't care about men, that's an honest statement. Not because they don't want to care about men. They have to be shown where they don't really care so that they can turn that part of themselves on and start focusing on it. And throughout my experience of working with couples, this has been a common thing where women have had to learn how to actually care about their man, their husband. Like, this is a real thing. I'm not just making stuff up. Like, this is real life data I've seen, like, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't confuse this with me saying it's not that women don't do things for their man. Women do stuff for their men, but what they do for their man typically is in relation to what they're expecting out of their man. So there's always something attached to, oh, I'm doing this because I want to get something out of it. So it's now it goes deeper. I'm just giving you the surface level.
Yeah, for sure. The first post on this platform that went viral was a woman being asked, what did she bring to the table? And
They
she
don't
went
like
off.
her.
She went, oh, she went off. She went off, and that was like a whole thing for a good year or so. Don't ask me what I bring to the table. I am the table. So yeah, we could touch on that on another time. Um, ooh,
Yeah.
already know.
Just think about that. It's okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Why would the average woman be upset at that question? It's because there should not be an expectation for them to bring anything, because you
Mm,
should be bringing something to the table for them. What I'm trying to explain is there's a hidden psychology behind all of this that we don't want to really deal with. Like, it sounds like if a person says this out loud, it sounds like they're trying to put women down. But think about, if we really were to just be intellectually honest and think things through, if you ask a man, what do you bring to the table, and you expect an answer, why do women get mad at the question when men ask? Because there's this innate thing in them that's they culturally trained to think and believe and understand, I shouldn't have to bring anything to the table first, period, etc. It's what are you doing for me? So what does that tell you? They're not actually conditioned to think or care about the man initially. They have to grow and develop into that. And that's what men have to learn to understand about women. You have to give them patience to grow into genuinely caring about your feelings, caring about your well-being, and actually them thinking about your health and your emotional state and all these different things, because they're not going to think about it above themselves. They're not. And don't beat them up for it.
It's so interesting because it's so far from the initial creation. He created them to be a help meet a need. But they don't want to hear that. Not well, I won't say they. Some will listen. Some will listen. And that's why I like this platform, communication lane, because somebody's going to hear.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 1,000 people that's mad, might have turned all they talking crazy. Somebody's going to hear.
Right.
Just that, and all I need is one, because it's going to create a domino effect.
Right.
I wanted to ask, what key misconceptions about finding a wife do you hope that this book kind of debunks?
Misconception. Don't expect her to be happy just with you. There's a misconception that men have that, man, we're getting married, we're engaged, it's exciting times, we're building a life together. And men subconsciously believe that that woman is going to be happy with him alone. And oftentimes it's just not the reality. There are going to be many different components to y'all's life that is going to have to play a part in her contentment. Not happiness, but her contentment. Because again, not to beat a dead horse, women have typically been conditioned to believe that everything is geared to make her happy. A man, hey, you marry my daughter, make sure you keep her happy. Take care of that. Make sure she's happy. And so we're trained to. So what do? We buy the chocolates, we buy the flowers, we take them on dates, we go traveling, and then when that's not enough, women and wives and girlfriends might see other women doing certain things. So what does that mean? Well, I deserve that too. So now they want their husbands and boyfriends to do what they see on social media because they're no longer happy with what they have. I've seen this real time. True story. I have a client. We started a session one day, and the wife began to talk about how she was unhappy. I said, okay, what's going on? And so she was telling me, she wants more, she wants more out of life, da. I'm like, okay, well, I need some more context. So I asked the husband to begin to share his side of things. And what he began to say is, well, the issue is every time my wife sees something on social media, she wants me to do it. And I said, well, give me some context. He said, okay, for example, 2 days ago, this was a Sunday, 2 days ago, he said, my wife saw a post about a woman posting about her husband fill her gas tank up every Sunday. And so she brought the post to me and said, see, this is what a husband's supposed to be doing. Why won't you fill up my gas on Sunday? So you can imagine that we had to work through this because we're not just dealing with a social media post. We're dealing with a discontentment issue. We're dealing with someone who doesn't know how to be happy outside of external factors, because conditioning is always there about making a woman happy. Now, this does not mean that there's no conditioning about making a man happy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that on the scale of degrees, we know that a percentage-wise, there's a greater percentage of men expecting to make a woman happy than a woman make a man happy. Or it's about the man having to prioritize making her happy in order for her to be happy so that she can then return and reciprocate. Very rarely is the expectation is that she do it no matter what he does. So one of the biggest misconceptions, this is why I'm bringing this up, is don't expect to be the sole reason she's happy and content. And if she's not only happy with you for some seasons of your marriage, don't trip on that. Don't don't throw it away. Understand that sometimes this comes with the territory.
Okay, so now that made me think about a curveball that I kind of want to throw at you,
Yeah.
because sometimes, just based on my experience and things that I've seen, women will have an idea of what they should do for a man to make him happy. And sometimes that's not always what that particular man needs from her. Then I've seen where women will go above and beyond to make a man happy. And usually in those cases, there's a polarity where the woman is looking up to the man in some kind of degree. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's toxic or whatever, like he's abusive or something like that, but we're not talking about that. Just the natural polarity between a man and a woman. She looks up to him, so she wants to please him. She wants to make him happy and things like that. When I've seen it the other way, that's when you kind of get that entitlement, or, it just gets a little tricky. So what do you think about that in trying to find a wife? That should they be concerned? I'm going to say it like this because I've heard other people say it. Should the woman like him or love him more than he loves and like her? I know. You're like, wait a minute. Right when it's starting to get good, there's an interruption. Look, if you enjoy the content, I'm just asking you to hit the like button and subscribe and follow. All right, back to the show.
All right, so this is
Yeah,
going
one of those.
this is going to get us, this is, I'm always going to be honest, but I do think that we have to understand the nature of men and women in order to understand the answer. Disclaimer, there's always exceptions to the rule and there's always anomalies. Nothing is absolute except God and his word. Now, majority of the time, it's not that she has to love him more than he loves her or care about him more. It's about understanding the psyche of women, right? How God created them. No matter how much we try to equalize things and feminize things or whatever we try to do in culture, it doesn't change the innate nature of the average man and woman, which is that woman wants to feel safe, provided for, protected for. She wants to feel like a woman with her man. Unfortunately, no fault to anybody, if she does not view you in those ways, then you're going to run into that problem. Because she has to be able to feel those things with you, which allows her to feel like I'm a woman and I'm with a man. To try to keep it as simple as possible. Here's why I'm saying it this way, and this is where it's going to get dicey. Remember when we've seen for decades, right? For decades, when you were in grade school, a lot of women didn't give women their age. A lot of women didn't give men their age any time of day because they liked someone who was in college or someone who was older. Period. Because he had resources. He had a car. He could do things for her. This is all part of the psychological aspect of things. So a lot of those women who didn't give men that, around the same age the time of day is because of what that man could provide that the men her age could not provide. So the question becomes, how does she view the man who's older and can provide more things, aka resources? She views that individual as more valuable and more important, which then makes her feel more valuable and more important. So here's my point. It's not about how much she loves him. It's about how valuable he makes her feel. Because we don't want to deal with the real psychological issue of insecurities that women deal with. And if they get with a high quality, high value, whatever the new term is, because we love new stuff every single day, whatever the foolishness we call it today, when they deal with a certain type of man, it makes their self-esteem go up. They want to be with a man that have some type of fame, value, fortune, resources. Now, that does not mean it has to be money. It can simply be a very good looking, handsome man, because we see plenty of women with very handsome men who are broke. But it's the fact that, look at the type of man I got. Look how good he looks. Look how he's in shape. He's fit. Okay, I'll pay for his bills. I'll pay for his dinners, or we can figure it out together. It's the fact that a man who looks this good chose me. So it has everything to do with the psychology behind what does a woman feel like being with that type of man who is, in her eyes, up here, above her to a degree. And that can be looks, fame, resources. It could be a lot of different things. But the issue is, getting full circle to the answer, it's not about how much she loves the man, because she can love a guy. Listen, she can truly love a man, but watch this. Men get demonized for being sexually attracted to other women. But the reason men get demonized for it is because it's seen as worse. But a man being sexually attracted to another woman who's not his woman is the same as a woman being financially attracted to another man who's not her man. It's the same thing. Or being attracted to the status of a man who's not her man. It's the same thing. He's looking at her butt, you're looking at his car. It's the same thing. But we don't want to see it equal because we want to put the demonization on and the value on things how we feel like it. So the issue becomes, this is where the issue is. You need your woman to see you valuable in a sense that makes her understand that you are worth keeping and being with, because it makes her feel better about herself.
That's good. That is so good.
That's why a lot of men are putting all of their attention into getting more resources, making more money, getting better, getting at certain levels in life, because we all know, listen, the 90s and the 80s trained us socially with music and videos, because who in the videos was getting all the women? The one with the money, the chains, the cars, etc. So what did men begin to do? Begin to shape their life to become like that. Whether it's basketball, football, baseball, soccer, music, entertainment. So men began to formulate that. Or if being hood or gangster, or all of those things cause women to attract to you because of the status, the fame, the psyche of all of it. So men began to duplicate that, even if they was from the suburbs. You get what I'm saying? Because they just wanted to be valued, And so men need to know you need to choose a wife who's going to truly value you, not because you have everything, but because she sees something about you that makes her go, I got something special. Because women love to feel special.
Ooh, she looks at you and says, I have something special. I don't want to let this man go.
Because it's a reflection of her. If she knows she has something special, she's going to feel special. And that's what women want to feel.
For sure. And it's funny, the domino effect, because a man like that usually has a lot of women that are attracted to him because of the same reason. And if he doesn't know how to handle it, that's when you get people, they playing.
Yeah, they're faithful. Yeah. They all over.
They playing. Some people can't handle that,
Yeah.
Man, that was so deep. I'm trying to move on in my head, but I'm like, that's so deep.
Take your time.
No, it's good. This is good information. Good information. If you
Yeah.
are a single man, listen up. Keep saying, get the book, the blueprint for
Yeah.
finding a wife. The blueprint.
When
What?
women hear stuff like this, it makes them feel shallow. So they try to deflect because they don't want it to be an indictment on their character. But the issue is we have to deal with this because it's your reality. You can't spend time trying to act like this is not how you naturally are. The same way men can't do that. And so we live in a society where because we don't want to be villainized or demonized or canceled or whatever the new thing is, we don't really live in our honesty. And if we understand how men and women are, things will change. And we just have to be honest about things and not really apologize for it. We just got to, it just is what it is, you
Yeah.
know?
What's one action? I'm thinking about it. I'm a single brother, and I know it's time to settle down, or maybe I'm dating somebody, and I'm trying to figure out if she's the one. What's one key action they can take after reading the book?
To like, ooh, just one? Yeah.
Hey, if you got top three or whatever, but yeah.
So one quality after reading the book that you take away.
Or like one action, like what's something they should start doing or thinking about, like, after reading the book.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing they should start doing after they read the book is this is gonna sound crazy, but they need to start evaluating the women in their life because society is painting this idea that majority of the people are finding their spouse, but that's just not the case. Whether it's Match.com or Christian Mingle or Pop the Balloon or Find Love, like all these different things, right? But the truth is, that's a very low percentage of people who find their spouse. So the moment you finish reading the book, you need to start surveying the people you already know because your spouse is typically in your proximity and you've already met them. Now, women don't like this because they're probably not attracted to none of them in their in their circle or in their proximity. But for men, um, men have to become one thing about the book that you're going to take away from it is men have to come to the realization of the responsibility that lies on them to make a good decision, right? And that's a difficult thing when you have so many options because there are many research research components and surveys and things of that nature that show you when you have more options, you typically make bad decisions. Not because the decision is bad, it's because of how you treat the decision after you make it. For example, let me give you an example so it make more sense. You ever been very hungry? You go to a restaurant and you kind of know what you want. I got a taste for some ribs or a steak or it's like, but then you get to the restaurant, it's like, man, it's a lot of good looking stuff on this menu, right? And so you say, you know what? I wanted a steak, but man, listen, man, this chicken marzala, this lasagna, this thing look good. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this. And then you get it, and then you eat it, and then you go home. You're kind of like, man, that wasn't really, it didn't really hit like that. Imagine having that mindset after you choose your spouse. Man, it's not really what I thought it was going. It's not. Eh, ah. See, this is what we do. Men and women, we do this because when we have the idea that we have a lot of options, which we actually don't, you have a lot of opportunities to be used. You don't have a lot of options to be chosen. So, with that being said, right, the truth is options are making it very difficult. So, when you start realizing that I don't need to keep looking for my spouse, I need to open my eyes and pay attention to who's already in my proximity. Who's at your church? Who's in your community groups? Who's in your school, your job? Where do you volunteer at consistently? Who do you know in these spaces? Because oftentimes your spouse is developed through your proximity of what you're already doing. So that's what men should start focusing on after they read this book. Pay attention to who's around you and who you already know. Because oftentimes we just don't realize our spouse is right under our nose.
That's a trip. That's a trip. Look, y'all have to go. I'm going to keep saying it. You got to go out and get the book. Look, y'all went out 10 years ago, roundabout, and y'all bought the other book, Think Like or whatever. No.
Yeah.
Get this book.
Yeah.
All right, get this book. We're going to put all the links, you know, we're going to give you all the links that you need, all the places where you can go and find the book. Before I let you go, I want to, welcome you to the fast lane. This is communication lane, so we're going to do some fast lane questions real quick.
All right. All right.
What would you tell your younger
Let
self?
me get the left lane because people can't drive no more. Get in the
Nah,
right.
come on, stay in your lane. Oh man, what would you go back and tell your younger self? Like one thing.
Ooh, learn
And we
more
could
about
keep it.
money.
We could keep it to communication or relationships.
About relationships. Self-control is everything. Yeah, because discipline and self-control go hand in hand. Discipline and self-control is everything. If I could tell my younger self, that's what I will focus on. Learn how to like focus on being disciplined and self-controlled. That's what I would do.
Nice.
Yeah.
In your opinion, who are better communicators, men or women?
Ooh. Women are better communicators when it comes to feelings and emotions. Men are better communicators when it comes to logic and solutions. I threw a
Like it?
curveball at you.
No, I love it because I do think we bring different elements to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Some a little fun. Your top three movies that have a love story in it.
Love and Basketball. Um, Love Jones. And my third one would be I can't think of a third one. Those would be my top two though.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
those would be
Top
my
two.
top two.
We keep it top two. Those who know me, I know they're smiling because they know that Love Jones is my favorite love movie. Like
Best man.
I could quote it. There you
Best man.
go.
Yeah.
Best man. Best man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can quote that movie and they be like, why you like it so much? I think it really shows a picture of when you meet somebody and you got that spark, you fall for each other, you start hanging out, you get involved, and there's still these exes that's lingering around,
Yeah.
these ties that haven't been cut. My brother said something on a podcast that I was on, my turn to talk. He said, when you date a woman, you should start asking, are there any, how did he say it? Any people that you are aligned with or share a connection with? You know, I'm paraphrasing. He said it something like that. Basically asking the person, you know, is it just me that you're hanging out, seeing, interested in, or are there others? They could either be new people or somebody from the past that you still haven't really figured that situation out. You know.
Yeah. I wonder why they would ask that question though. Why it would matter.
So you think it shouldn't matter?
No. In the book I tell men, don't date, meet.
Mm-hmm.
Dating shouldn't even be a thing. Just meet women.
Mm-hmm.
Live in your purpose, do what you're called to do, and along the way, meet women. and keep them platonic friends so that you can have a clear understanding of who this woman is so that there's no confusion, there's no, complexities. Because whatever she's doing when you meet her doesn't matter
Mm,
because she's not yours.
right? Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter who she's hung up with, hanging up on, or like that only matters if you decide to make her yours.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you mean don't bring it up until, I mean, so at what point do you bring it up? Like if I'm investing in you, like a man would when he's serious and intentional,
Yeah.
I never ask the question if there's somebody else.
Yeah. So in the book, I actually talk about when to do that. And that comes later in the game. That comes way later it's at later stages in the development of your friendship.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. All right. Top three love songs,
Ooh, that's a hard one because
especially for a musician, of
oh
course.
man, that's a top three love song. I'm not gonna make it complicated because when you ask a musician that, my former
Mm-hmm.
life, right? That's okay. My top three love songs, man. To put just to put it in the top. This is supposed to be the fast lane. I'm in the slow lane right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
Um,
Traffic jam.
yeah, I would say Boys to Men, I'll Make Love to You. Um, Jodeci, Stay. Um, I'm Still in Love with You.
That's the name of the song.
Yep, I'm Still in Love with You. New edition. Yep.
I wonder if I've heard that. If not, I'm gonna look it up for
Uh,
sure.
I'm pretty sure you have. Um,
I probably didn't know that was a title.
yeah. I'm Still in Love with You. Yeah, yeah. I'm Still in Love with You.
Okay.
Um, what can I do, girl? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's my.
Okay.
I love that
That's the
song.
jam. It's the ones that make you
Yeah,
feel something. That's
yeah.
what's up. Man, so much good information in this short time. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and having you on.
Appreciate
Please tell them where can they find you and where can they find the book.
it. All right. So the easiest way to find me is at my website, www.artistanderson.com. ARTISTANDERSON. Artistanderson.com. You can buy the book on Amazon or Walmart, but you can just go to my website. The links are already there, simple enough for you. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Artist Seven Anderson and Try Forever Love. TRY, the number 4, ever love.
There's something that you said a long time ago, or something I noticed about you when I
Hmm.
first met you, is that you will say something more than once until you connect.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of something that I don't even remember if it was a man or woman. Somebody told me something a long time ago. And it was kind of the inspiration for this platform. They said, communication is not complete until the person understands the message that you're trying to convey.
Right.
And to get somebody to understand sometimes takes you rephrasing it. It takes you putting yourself in that person's position or shoes so you can understand how they're going to receive the information.
Hmm.
A lot of people think communication is just running their mouth, and it's simply not. Simply not.
Communication communication often fails simply because we assume and believe that when we end the conversation, they got it.
Huh.
When most of the time they don't. So I get this from my mom. My mom repeats herself a lot. But I've come to appreciate it because it helps you to realize you're not really listening until you realize you can't repeat it back. Or you're not really listening until you realize you can't really convey what they were trying to say. And
Mm.
sometimes it's just a byproduct of I'll say it this way. It doesn't matter how good of a communicator you are if they are an equally terrible listener.
I wish I had a mic because I'll drop it right now. Drop the mic on that. You heard it here, Artist Anderson. The book dropped today. The blueprint for finding a wife.